Hi, this is Plague Warrior, and I'm back with another comic review. I was gonna wait to do Cyberfrog 2 when it came out, but I'm not sure if I want to get it this month. I thought maybe I was because I saw the updates. So instead, I'll do a comic review of one I've been saving for a while. And it's called Kamen America Volume 1, Stars and Strife. And I will say that, spoiler alert, this is a really good comic. It's one of my favorite independent comics I've read so far. So, the story is kind of like a mixture, if you will. It begins off kind of like Iron Man 1 and a mixture of Captain America, the movie, the MCU movies. She kind of starts off as like somebody who helps out the military, does like a dance show. She does the costumes for it. She's a seamstress, and she's in a truck with the military. They're shipping her around, and they get hit by a missile somewhere, and something happens, and it causes her to get powers. It also changes her hair color. Very inventive. I once wanted to. I guess it's not. I want to say it's very inventive, but it's a good idea. I once wanted to create a female character that I was like, well, how could I get them to, have a secret identity? And it seems like the hair would be a thing, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could have a female character that could have a different hair color when they. And my silly thing was I was going to have them wear a wig. And because they were supposed to be non-powered, well, to a degree, they had powers, but they didn't have like cosmic or energy blast powers. So I was just going to have them wear a wig. This is a much better idea, their idea, and that is kind of like, as soon as she calls on the powers, it causes her hair to change color. I think that's awesome. I think that was a good idea, just a smart move on their part. And she goes, I think they kind of make a comment on I think it's Warbird. I think that was Miss Marvel's other name, if I'm not mistaken, at one time, Warbird. They call her Warhen. She starts working for this like company to be a superhero, because you could work for a company and be super heroic as a like publicity thing. She eventually starts not liking them because she's feeling that she's just commercialized. And then the final straw is when she gives a scarf to a homeless person, and they tell her, she shouldn't have done that because she's a fashion brand, and if she wants to continue her fashion brand, she shouldn't give her. You have to have a certain clientele for your products, and you don't want it to be for the homeless. And so she gets mad, and she's like, I can do whatever I want to with my clothing line, and quits and becomes a different superhero called Kamen America, which is nice. It's a play on Kamen Rider. And then a Captain America, I guess, blend them together. Another smart move there. And she, kind of does the superhero thing with that for a while. And then there's like some Russian troops invading another country. Kind of strange, especially with what's happening around the world right now. But nonetheless, good idea. And so she goes over there, fights somebody else just like her, has magical powers, and they're fighting it out pretty good when Kamen America loses her powers because of exhausting them. She took a lot out of her to actually fly over there, and so after the fighting, she's exhausted, while the other person, her enemy, not exhausted. And so she starts fighting, but then Kamen America figures out that she almost thought the lady she is fighting must also have some love for fashion because of the fabric that she uses for her own costume, the villain's costume. And she's like, yeah, but soldiers aren't fashion people, and Kamen America comes back, and it's very nice. Like I said again, this book's full of good ideas, and this is writing 101, which I think is really good. I mean, I've read all of the Kamen America books, and while all of them are pretty good, this one has the best writing so far. Great origin story. And the best part, like I said, this is writing 101. They start off with I don't want to call it the theme, because it's not throughout the entire story, but like the moral of the story, or the idea of the story, is that when Kamen America is a little kid, her teacher tells her she wants to be a fashion designer. Her teachers tells her this is a new age. You could be like a police officer. You could go. It was like taxes, basically male jobs. And it was like you could be a garbage man. Like I said, just male-oriented jobs. She goes, but I want to be a fashion designer, and her teacher gets mad at her for it. And she's like, you need to be one of these. And so her dad says, honey, this is a new day and age. You can be whatever you want. If you want to stick with a female-oriented job because that's what you love, you do what you love. And so she brings it back full circle near the very end. And it's kind of, I guess it kind of still is throughout. Like, she's trying, even though she's a war hen and stuff like that, she needs to figure out, she needs to do what she loves. So she needs to not do the superhero thing for the commercial aspect, but just to help people. So you can kind of say it's throughout. So maybe it is the theme. But that's how she defeats the so-called villain. And the reason I'm saying that is because she eventually turns into a friend in later books. All you know now is that she just defeats the other character. But she says, she brings it back full circle and says to the villain, somebody once told me, do what you love. So, if you want to be a fashion designer, and Russia looks down on that, she's like, you need to do what you love, become a fashion designer. And they need to respect you for it. And so, the villain quits and stops invading the country, and Kamen America wins. So it's nice that it comes back full circle. I think that the writing is excellent origin story. A lot of humorous takes in there, a lot of good jokes. It's to the point. Everything makes sense. It just makes all the right moves. Therefore, I give the writing part of this story a 4 out of 5. And I think the costume designs are good. The illustrations are excellent. They have like a manga style to them. If you're not a fan of the manga style, you may not care for it much. I think it's still a great look for it. You can tell from future books. I hate to keep referencing future books while I'm reviewing this book, but you can tell they're going to like a Sailor Moon type take where there's multiple types of the ladies of different types. You know what I mean? Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, this Kamen America, Common Comrade. I forgot what the other one becomes. I think there's Common Victory. I remember that one. So they get like a team. They're getting a team. So far, there's only 4 of them, but I'm digressing here. The illustrations get a 4 out of 5. So combined with the writing score, that gives this comic an 8 out of 10. And as far as entertainment goes, I give it a check plus. But just a solid, well-made book. I just can't heap enough praise on it. Like I said, probably one of the best independent comics I've read on here and reviewed for a long time. And that's it for me. I hope you're enjoying your weekend, and have a good day.